Hi guys, 40M1 here, and I'm back after a nice semester at college, and I will be doing some mid-season LCS changes overview, as well as a bit of a ranking at the end. Let's get right into it. First up, Cloud9, they had 3 changes heading into the summer split. Up first, we have Fudge, role swapping from mid back to top lane in replace of Summit, who is, according to recent rumors, going to FPX in China. There were some mental problems with Summit. He kind of ran it down at the end. Teams kind of figured out Cloud9, and because of it, they really didn't look good in playoffs and were sent home by, I believe, oh my god, how have I forgotten? I believe by 100 Thieves. I gave this move a 6 out of 10. For me, Fudge is a downgrade from a top lane perspective. Purely from like an individual on individual perspective, Summit is the reigning LCS MVP. Fudge is not going to be that. That's not what Fudge is. But from a team perspective, it is a good move. When you remove that from top lane, the mental problems, and you bring Fudge back, you have more of a stable outlook on the top side of the map, which may help Blabber in the long run. The team is now mainly a English-speaking roster, which also may help. So I think it's a good move. I'm not the biggest fan of Fudge, but it's still a good move for Cloud9. It's a 6 out of 10. Next up, Sven. So this one was kind of surprising. I heard it first from LS on one of his streams. He talked about how Sven is very capable of playing support even better than he plays AD. And I was like, oh, really? And I kind of thought to myself, like, maybe Cloud9 will do it. And they ended up doing it. They did need a new support. Winsome was terrible. Absolutely awful throughout the split. Isles, I didn't think was too bad. I think releasing Isles was kind of troll on Cloud9's part, but they thought they could get more out of Destiny, and so they chose to release him, and that's fine. But Sven coming in, I gave this a 5 out of 10. He could be one of the best supports in the league, and he could also be one of the worst supports in the league. We don't know what he's going to look like. We've never seen him play support in a competitive setting, at least recently, and I just don't want to speculate too much. It's definitely an upgrade. I'm fairly confident that they are going to get an upgrade over Winsome and Isles with Sven. It's just how much of an upgrade is it? Will this move push them, into like championship contention? Maybe, right? So 5 out of 10 for me. It's a pretty decent move. And then the big one. This was very surprising. Jensen to Cloud9 playing mid lane from Team Liquid. Actually, well, technically a free agent, but he was Team Liquid last year. I just realized that now. But replacing Fudge, bringing in a more stable mid lane, and because of that, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic move. At the beginning of the midseason, I didn't think Cloud9 had a chance in getting Jensen just because of the past that they've had, and Jensen not really having the greatest relationship with Cloud9 with Jack. And because of that, I thought, it's not possible. He's going to end up playing for Reggie, which sucks, but it is what it is. Or maybe like Golden Guardians or something like that. But instead, he does end up in Cloud9. Very interesting move. It's a great move too. This move kind of pushes Cloud9 into this area of like, wow, this team is like there. It's a scary roster. It's a pretty scary roster, especially if Blabber can pick up his game a little bit and Berserker maintains his course. So overall, it's a 7 out of 10 mid-season here for Cloud9. I thought they did pretty well. They did pretty well, all things considered. The only thing that I'm a bit more skeptical on is the support pick for Sven. Maybe, if this works out, this team is ridiculously good, probably guaranteed to win the championship. If it doesn't, it's a mid-table team. It sucks, but maybe they make a push for Worlds, but they're not quite there unless they have that good support pick. All right, on to Dignitas. So Dignitas only made one change, and that was bringing in Gumsu from 100 Thieves Academy. I believe they won. I think they won. Proving Grounds spring. It was them and Team Liquid in the final, but I don't remember who won. I absolutely hate this move. It is a 1 out of 10 for me. Absolutely terrible. Is it an upgrade over Fake God? Yeah, but not by much. And I think for what they're trying to do, there were better options. They had two directions they could go in. They could look at their roster, look at their record from the beginning of Spring Split and go, maybe we can contend for something. Maybe we can look good, have a solid core heading into next year. And if they wanted to do that, they're signing someone like Hanser, they're signing Solo, maybe they're signing Darshan or Dokla. Like, that's kind of where they could have gone with that. Or they could go the development route. We're going to throw it away. The season's over for us. We're not doing anything special here. We don't want to look good for next year. We're just going to get some younger guys in. Maybe we can build a core off that, and maybe we can compete next year or the year after that. And that's kind of what they were thinking with this move. Gumsu is a fine player. In terms of academy, he definitely deserves a call-up, but there were better options on the table for me. When someone like Bradley from TL is available, when someone like Tenacity, who's also on 100 Thieves, is available, it doesn't sit right with me that they could go for Gumsu here. I don't think he's good enough. I think there were better options. I understand if maybe Tenacity was a bit too expensive for Dignitas, but I still think I still think there were better options in the academy pool than Gumsu for them to go with. I think it was, honestly, if I had to guess, Dignitas were probably in deep negotiations with 100 Thieves for Tenacity, and they probably broke down. Dignitas wasn't willing to pay what 100 Thieves wanted, and instead they end up, because they were getting closer to the end of the mid-season, they needed to get someone. They were already in negotiations, so they probably just got Gumsu off that. I do not like this move. I think absolutely disastrous from Dignitas here. 1 out of 10. Absolute failure. Immortals, they had 3 changes, starting with Kenvi. This is a really interesting move. So Kenvi coming from 100 Thieves Academy, also on that Proving Grounds roster. I believe they won. So very, very good. He is highly touted. This is a guy that, if you watch a streamer that plays Champs Queue, if you watch a pro player that plays Champs Queue, they're always talking about how good this kid is. And academy analysts are also singing very high praises of this guy. He's an NA resident from the Philippines. He's the second coming of Xmithy. And because of that, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It is not a win-now move. 100 Thieves had, in my opinion, 3 options. Sorry, not 100 Thieves. Immortals had 3 options in jungle heading in to this split. They could have gotten Svenskeren from Cloud9, which is more of the, we think we can contend now, let's go for it move. They could have gotten Kenvi, or they could have promoted Chad from Academy. And then there was also the off chance, it was very slim, but the off chance that Dardoch came back and from their coaching staff and played jungle for them. I didn't really see that one happening, but there's always a chance. For me, Chad would have been a terrible decision. I think Svenskeren would have been the best decision for this team. You can always go out and get someone like Kenvi later, and so you might as well see what you have now. It may be a bit more money, but you can always sell off Svenskeren. He's always going to have some sort of value, especially if he plays somewhat well. It's a bit premature, but I can understand if they want to develop now. I'm very interested to see where this goes for Immortals. This kid could be the next superstar NA jungler, and it would look really, really good. So I'm interested to see where he goes. I like the move for Immortals. I think Sven would have been Sven Skaren would have been slightly better, but still a good move. Next, Lost. So Golden Guardians did really good to sell him off. Immortals picking him up is not because they wanted him. And here's the thing. Let me explain. If Immortals had their choice, they had 380 carries that they could have gone for. They could have gotten Stixay, Johnson, or Lost. Stixay was by far number one on their list, but Golden Guardians was not going to let go of Stixay. Golden Guardians was very set from the beginning of the midseason that they were going to play with Stixay because they felt like they had a roster that could compete. And then 2, Johnson. Johnson's a bit more reasonable. The problem is that FlyQuest has such a good thing going right now in terms of the team dynamic and the atmosphere that in order to get Johnson, FlyQuest was probably going to ask a lot from whoever was going to buy him in order to get him over there. And because of that, Immortals went for the cheaper option in Lost. Lost is fine. It's a 5 out of 10 move. They're probably not going to stick with him past this split. I imagine he's gone heading into the offseason. It would surprise me if he wasn't. He's an average player. He's been in the league for a very long time. He's going to do just enough to not completely screw up, but he's not going to do anything to win you the game, which sucks because AD carry is a very important position in terms of damage dealt. And because of that, I can see Immortals struggling a little bit with him. Who knows? Final move, Ignar. Bringing in Ignar from Evil Geniuses. I love this move. As a FlyQuest fan, Ignar brought the team a lot, as did Wild Turtle, who is probably gone now. But yeah, he brought the team a lot. He's a great player, absolutely amazing intuition in terms of where he needs to be on the map, where picks can occur, great vision control. Just a fantastic support. It was criminal that he was not in the LCS last split, and so I'm glad he's back now. This move, 7 out of 10. Immortals had a lot of trouble at the support area, as they did in the AD carry area too. And so bringing in Ignar, fantastic. This bot lane is much improved, much improved from where it was. So overall, 6 out of 10 for Immortals. I think it was pretty good. It was a pretty good offseason. It's a nice building block to what will be next year, which is probably their, we're going to go for it. So, Golden Guardians. So, 2 moves for Golden Guardians. We've already talked about one of them. Stixay. From coach to AD carry. He did play for them a bit. He looked a lot better than Lost did when he was playing, with lesser teammates too, with worse teammates. This is a fantastic move. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. Absolutely love it. One of Golden Guardian's biggest problems, well, they had 2. One was in mid lane. Ablaze Olive really fell off. And 2, they had no damage coming out from Lost. Lost just really couldn't do enough, didn't synergize very well with Ole. And because they needed an AD carry change, I absolutely love this. I thought there were 2 options for them, really. They could go with Stixay or they could get Sven from Cloud9, which I was really excited if they were going to get Sven. Because if you think about it, Golden Guardians could have ended up with Licorice, Pridestalker, Jensen, Sven, Ole. That would have been an insane roster for Golden Guardians. Instead, they go with Stixay, which is completely fine. Not as good as Sven is, but a very good AD carry to maybe get them over the hump, maybe send them to Worlds this year. So, love the move. Next, Leader. This is a 7 out of 10 move. Absolutely fantastic. He is not going to start right away. They're going to wait for Ole to get his green card. Once the green card comes in for him, he will replace Ablaze Olive, and Ablaze Olive will be sent down to Academy. Leader will be brought up. When that happens, this team is scary. It's a very, very good team, and I will talk about that in another video when I do my predictions. But This team looks really good with these moves. Absolutely fantastic mid-season from Golden Guardians, 7.5 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic. Finally, TSM. I didn't put Reggie's house here, but I believe that one's being transferred as well. To start, we have Maple. Coming from Anyone's Legend in China. He didn't play a ton. He was very disappointing. I think LPL fans had a much higher expectation of him than what he performed. He did not look great in LPL. But that doesn't mean he can't be good in LCS. For me, this is a 3 out of 10 move. I really don't like this move, mainly because I just feel like there were other things that TSM could have done here. It doesn't really make sense. Is it an upgrade over Takeover? Yes. Is it that much of an upgrade in the long term? No, I really don't think so. Honestly, I think TSM would have been better off just developing Takeover and rebuilding next year. Instead, they buy this guy from China. He's an older player. He's been around for a very long time, played for PSG, played in the PCS for a very, very long time. They're just not going to get any value out of this pick come next year. You're going to get through this split, and then who's left on that team? Is Hooney staying? No. Spica? No. So they're what? They're going to have Maple and Tactical. And it's like, really? Like, that team is awful, man. It is terrible. And so for me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe, it's definitely an upgrade now, but is it going to get you to Worlds? No, it's not. So I really don't like this move from TSM. And then there's Mia. Mia coming from the LLA and Astral Esports. He's of Korean residency. He was just playing down there for a split. And now he's in TSM. He will be playing for their academy team. This is a 5 out of 10 move. I do like this move, actually. This is a good move. Because what they should be doing is building for the future, because their team is doomed this year, and it's also doomed heading into next year, too. So they need to be rebuilding. This is the type of guy that they're going to be able to rebuild around if he develops properly in the academy setting. And he might even get some LCS experience this year if Shen Yi doesn't play too well. And so I'm very excited for this move. I love this. This is exactly what I wanted, actually, out of TSM. The first move, terrible. Second move is pretty good. In total, it's a 4 out of 10. Not a great midseason. I think the Maple pickup really drags them down, but not bad overall. The midseason move rankings. So in first place, Golden Guardians. They by far did the best. Absolutely love what they did. Cloud9 in second. They did pretty well too. They're definitely a force to be reckoned with if Sven pans out as I think they're intending. Immortals definitely got better. Not much better, but they got better. We'll see what that team looks like. It's definitely going to be an interesting roster, not heading into this split, but heading into next year, they could be really good. TSM, it's a really bad pickup for me. As I just talked about, they're really kind of just trolled it. This is still a bottom half team. And then Dignitas, absolute disaster. I hate it. I think Gumsu will probably get destroyed in LCS in pretty much every lane. It is not going to look good. So, yeah, last place, 1 out of 10. They did not do well. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.